it's John McCabe. Welcome to the show. Hey, welcome to the John A. McCabe Show, where it's all about accelerating your authority in your business or field of expertise. And we do that by helping entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, expert speakers get heard, get noticed, get seen on any device, anywhere, anytime, in as little as 15 hours, also known as the Authority Acceleration Program. Now, on today's show, Entrepreneur Journey Wednesday, my guest is someone I've known for almost 20 years. He's a good friend to my entire family, having spent a summer at our home many years ago as he played for the same fast-pitch softball team as my younger brother. Now, John has always been a great athlete in the sport of fast-pitch softball, playing for Team Nova Scotia at the Canada Games, winning the All-Canadian Second Baseman Award. He then was a member of the same team as my younger brother Trevor when they represented Nova Scotia at the Canadian Junior Men's Championships in Newfoundland. They went on to win a silver medal at that tournament, losing the final game to a dynasty at the time, Lloydminster. I reconnected with John back probably in 2002, I believe it was, when he agreed to be a member for the Edmonton Black Sox, the team that my younger brother and I played for, and my older brother actually coached. So we went on to represent Alberta that year at the Canadian Men's Fast Pitch Championships. So John was a member of that team. So we got to reconnect. And I think we even shared my younger brother, John, myself, we even shared the same hotel room for that week. But John was always better known for his boxing. In 1988, he went on to win the Canadian title for his weight class and has boxed in the World Championships, where he won international titles, including the silver medal at the Commonwealth Games in South Africa. After his sports career was coming to an end, he went on to get his teaching degree and became a well-respected teacher in his home of Cape Breton. John went on to become a family man, marrying his wife, Candace, and becoming a great father to a couple great boys. But recently, he was hit by the entrepreneurial bug and opened up John's Knockout Fitness, where he also works as a part-time trainer. Now, in 2015, Bell Alliant, the phone and TV giant in Canada, aired 12 episodes of a fitness series on TV1 Video on Demand of John's Knockout Fitness, starring the man himself, John McCarthy. So today, I'm going to find out from John how he ended up as a fitness club owner, how he managed to not only get featured, but get a fitness series with Bell Alliant, and what lessons he's learned as a boxer that he's applying to being a successful entrepreneur. So be sure to stick around, because when I come back, I'll be joined by my good friend, John McCarthy. And we're back. Thanks for joining us today. I have a great guest scheduled today, someone I've known for close to 20 years now. He made his mark in the ball diamond as an All-Canadian second baseman, and inside the squared circle as a champion boxer. I guess squared circle is really the term they use for wrestling, but inside the ring as a championship boxer. But now he's entered into a new ring, and that's the entrepreneur's ring. So John McCarthy is a teacher, husband, father, former Canadian boxing champion, and now owns his own fitness club, where in what little spare time he has, he works as a part-time trainer. Now, he's also filmed a 12-episode fitness series with Bell, the major Canadian TV as well as phone company in Canada, and he did that last year, 2015. So please give it up with likes, love, shares, and a virtual flurry of thumbs up and heart icons across the screen for my good friend and my guest today, John McCarthy. Hey, John, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing excellent, thanks. And I see that your studio has your Seattle Seahawks colors.
Yes, my football team.
Big Seattle Seahawks fan.
Yes, well, I went to see them in New York when we won the Super Bowl against Denver. It was
that's
fantastic.
right. I remember you actually went down for the game. Did you actually get into the game, or you were just in the area?
No, I went in. I had great seats and loved every minute of it. Traveled myself. Had a great time.
Excellent. Hey, I know that just sort of off the topic, but I think Trevor was telling me that there was a Cape Breton team that was at the Masters Nationals this year. Did you end up going with them?
No, this year I pulled my quad early in the season and was scheduled to go with those guys. Had my flights planned and ready to go, and unfortunately injuries as we get up here in age
Yeah.
is more often than not.
Yeah, exactly. So I know that you've been on the show before, and so you know that before we get into too far, that we do an interview speed round of questions, and it's just 10 questions, just so the viewers get to know a little bit more about you, and so just blurt out whatever comes to mind, the first few words or whatever. So it's nothing that you needed to study for. So as always, I'd like everyone else at home to play along as well. So as I'm asking the questions, please enter your answers. And I think last week I did this, and my good friend Andy Lockwood, who's been on twice already, his answer to every question was John McCabe. So hopefully you have a better answer than just my name all the time. But so just please play along with us as I ask the questions. So the very first one is, name the book that impacted your life the most.
Bo Knows Bo. I'm a Bo Jackson fan, Kansas City Royal fan.
Excellent. He was an amazing player. It's too bad that he got injured early in his career, but he was just unstoppable. So when you were a young boy, who was your celebrity crush?
You know what? It was General Hospital. She was known as Felicia. I loved her.
I actually know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Christina Crump. She ended up marrying Jack Wagner.
Oh, did she?
I didn't hold her. I wasn't too upset about it.
No. So what either book, podcast, or show are you into right now?
I'd have to say your show right now.
Excellent. Thank you.
The one I'm into.
So I know in the past, playing ball and being a championship boxer, you've worked with a lot of coaches. So are you working with any business coaches now that you're entered into the entrepreneur's ring?
Really I'm not working with any particular business coach. I have a few friends that are in the business area that I tap into, but it's something that probably I should look into in the future and lacking right now.
Excellent. So what's your favorite movie of all time?
Rain Man.
Rain Man.
I'm a big Rain Man fan, yeah.
Excellent.
My wife, she doesn't like me watching it too often because I kind of try acting like it for a day or so.
Yeah, it probably gets on her nerves a little bit.
Yeah, very much.
So you talked that you have some few entrepreneur friends that you tap into every once in a while, but are you involved in any sort of mastermind where you get together with a group of other businesses and you sort of help each other work on their businesses or ideas?
No, not per se. Like, we always throw around things that I'd like to do, like maybe get a bigger gym and do some different things that way. But with teaching and those kinds of things, my time is really not that available.
Yeah, it's really limited. And how many children do you have?
I have two boys. Matthew is 13 and Keegan is 11.
And I'm sure that they're involved in a lot of sporting activities that keep you busy, driving them around as well. So,
well, I coach the soccer team now at school, and hockey as well.
Oh, yeah. So time is a limited factor for you. So we'll just name the person, either dead or alive, who you'd most like to meet and have dinner with.
I would say President Obama. I think he's a fascinating man and has done a lot for the U.S., and I think it would be interesting to hear some of his insights on his 8-year career.
Exactly, especially if he didn't sort of redact all of his statements and actually get into the real information.
Yes, exactly.
So what's your favorite type of vacation? Is it a beach or an adventure tour?
I'm more of a beach person for the fact that I see my life is always an adventure. It's go, go, go. And not to say the beach isn't for relaxing, but I do get involved in a few little activities while I'm beachside for sure.
Nice. So what's the best business advice that you've ever had?
I would say take some time for yourself. Don't get consumed by it, and actually sit back and relax a little.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to work on it.
So the last question is a two-parter. So would you prefer water, beer, or wine? And how about pizza, wings, or salad?
Definitely a beer guy, and and definitely a salad guy.
Okay, so that beer and salad, that's your afternoon lunch. Nice.
Yeah, one good habit.
So, John, can you, for the interview, for the guests who don't know you personally, can you give the viewers maybe a 3 to 5 minute version of your origin story, sort of where you came from, how you grew up, getting into boxing, ball, teaching, and then on to owning your own gym. So just sort of walk us through, in 3 to 5 minutes, sort of your story.
Well, I loved ball. That was my first passion by far. And I started in Little League when I was 7 and continued to love the sport. Ironically, my team was the Royals, and to this day is the Kansas City Royals, my favorite team. I get into boxing eventually when I was 13 to stay in shape. I simply just wanted to stay in shape for the winter and took that route because it was in my neighborhood. I did a little dabbling in the fighting aspect on my street, so
I heard stories about what was the name of that famous bar in Sydney, Smooth Herman's. I heard stories about outside Smooth Herman's.
There's a few outside and a few inside, to be honest. But so boxing became my sport to stay in shape, and I really became hooked into that aspect of the sport once I jumped in the ring for my first time. And I fought 3 fights in 2 days. It was a novice tournament. It was under 10 tournament, and I was black and blue at the end of it and full of blood, but I came out with that little gold medal, and it was like the world to me.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of hooked. Ball, again, continued to be my passion, and I played with many great teams in the local area. And then I was fortunate enough to become on the Nova Scotia Canada Games team and captain that team out in Saskatoon. So that was another, real highlight of building my ball career.
Yeah.
As far as boxing went, that continued to grow with each and every fight. You battle more and more tougher opponents, bringing them in from different parts of the world, and I matched up against guys from Quebec, Ontario, BC, and then again, like I said, moved on to U.S. and Ireland and further.
Yeah.
So it was quite the dream, I thought, and again, happy to do so and do it again today if I could.
Did you ever think of that you'd end up going pro, or when you were boxing?
Well, I had offers to go pros, but my goal was to get to the Olympics, and unfortunately, I didn't make that. It's like anything when you put your heart and soul in it. It's time, it's effort, it's money, it's dedication. You give up a lot of things, but again, you have that goal and determination, and I think that bode well for me in the aspect of life.
Right.
And I was at the point where I was just finishing up my amateur career, and that happened with a loss to Troy Ross to go to the Olympics. Troy Ross was a tremendous fighter, and just happened to be in my weight class. And him and I had quite a few battles, but I was never able to overcome it and get that win.
Yeah.
But again, I never backed down. I was always ready to go. New training techniques, better fitness, better eating, and again, try to find ways to make that dream a reality. Again, I did travel overseas. I fought at the Commonwealth Championships in South Africa and won a silver medal there, and had a lot of glorious times with boxing, and made a lot of great friends that I love talking to and I love telling stories with today.
I bet. So then you, when your boxing career ended up winding down, you went back to school to get your education degree?
No, I was boxing during school,
okay.
and which is a challenge in itself. But I was at CBU for my first degree, and took a lot of part-time courses, take 3 and 4 courses rather than the full load.
Yeah.
And when I finally went to UNB in Fredericton for my education degree, it was a full load, and it was a full boxing career at that time as well, because I was still on the national team, and I was a carded athlete, so I had to maintain studies, maintain my status with Boxing Canada as well.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough to have that degree, pretty much paid for through Boxing Canada, and
Nice.
Fortunate for it.
And you're fortunate to get teaching in your hometown or close to your hometown, and then end up getting married, and then opening up a fitness studio.
Yes, yeah. Well, my wife and I made our move to Ontario at the beginning to work on her career as a lawyer, and I taught school for 5 years.
Okay.
After we had our first boy, and we made the decision, okay, are we coming home or are we going to plant roots in Ontario? And we made the move back home for the better, for sure.
Yeah, excellent. So what were some of the biggest lessons that you learned as an athlete, training for championship fights, working on your craft and trying to get better, that you come to realize were really lessons about life, not just boxing?
Well, I feel that, you have to realize your potential. Some guys really don't see it, and they kind of step back and maybe not give that all in fear of failure. And I believe fear of failure will hold a lot of people back.
Yes.
And I think in the entrepreneur world, it definitely did for me, because it took me a while to make that jump. I thought about things in the past. I had my ideas. I knew what I could offer people, but really did I want to put it out there?
Right.
So training and boxing for myself set me up for later. But every day I went to the gym. I worked on one thing, prepared for the next day, worked on another, and tried to put it all together when it came time. And this happened with my job right now.
So I think mindset is huge in not just any sport, but business as well as life as well. Because if you believe it, you can achieve it. And what ends up happening is a lot of people don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that they're worthy or they can be successful, and then they start believing the negative talk that people constantly bring at them or whatever. So they're not able to achieve their true potential. But when working with a professional coach that you did with Boxing Canada, working with some of the best coaches when it comes to softball, these people actually see your potential and they help reinforce that on a daily basis, instilling your confidence, telling you that you can achieve whatever it is that you can achieve. And I think it's the same way in business, that if you're going into it with that mindset that you don't think you're going to succeed, or you're not good enough, or maybe you don't have the right education or something, that if you think you're not going to succeed, then you're right, you're not going to succeed. But if you think you can succeed, then as long as you're taking the necessary steps to make it happen, then it's definitely going to happen for you.
And I think with everyone, there's different types and degrees of success. I mean, yes, we dream big, and yes, we want this and we want that, but I think people forget, like I said, I didn't make that Olympic team. You know what? But I think it's the best path that ever could have happened for me.
That's right.
I came from a poor area. It gave me an outlet. It gave me focus. It gave me all the tools to move on, own my own home, own my own car that I want to drive, have my business, and a beautiful family that that I wished for.
That's right. So, which of those lessons that you've learned have you actually incorporated into opening and running your own fitness club to make it successful? So if you can think about the very specific lessons you learned in boxing and going through that training, which ones have you sort of incorporated into the decision of opening your business and making it successful?
Well, I think preparation is number one. I mean, you have to prepare for the good, and you have to prepare for the bad. There's days where you're going to feel, hey, like, this is awesome, things are going great.
Yeah.
And there's days you're going to walk in that training gym and walk in life, and guess what? It's not that rosy anymore. You're getting beat up, you're getting put down, you're getting things are your light bulbs in the gym is going. Different things happen, and you have to prepare for the good and the bad. I think so. Commitment to that and succeeding and moving towards it is major.
Excellent. So John, can you walk us through your decision to start John's Knockout Fitness? Sort of how did that all come about?
Well, I thought about it quite a bit before I did start it. I was actually training at Ring 73, coaching there while this process was going. I was taking my kids up to the gym, and it was getting difficult on them. They were only young boys at the time, and of course they liked being around the gym, but they would be falling asleep at the gym. And it wasn't what they wanted to be. They wanted to be out there playing with their friends and otherwise. So I thought about it for a while, and again, I was just a break from boxing, coach, just to give my kids a break, when I bought this house in Dominion, where my wife's family's from. So when I bought this place, it had a place for me to work out within the remnants of my home. I could be staying there, my kids could be out playing in the neighborhood or on my grounds, and that gave me the opportunity. Again, I was a little bit skeptical, and I was actually on my way to San Francisco with a few buddies of mine, my buddy entrepreneurs, and we were going down to watch some football, and we talked about it, and they said, when we get back there, John, you should start. You should open up. You should get it going.
Yeah.
And one of my friends who designed my logo for John's Knockout Fitness was on this trip. So Jeff Clemens, a big thank you to you for that. And again, a few other buddies like Jeff McClellan, who was famous around here in the neighborhood, our local MLA and Minister of Transportation for Nova Scotia, was on this trip. So that kind of really gave me the idea of, hey, let's get this done and give it a shot.
Excellent. So John, can you walk us through, can you tell us a little bit about your business? So how big is it? Do you have some staff, equipment? Was it a huge financial investment? Did you have to go borrow money, get a loan, or you just handled it yourself? Sort of tell us a little bit more about your business.
Well, my business started out and still is, I call small. I have clients up to about 30 to 40, depending on the days, depending on the time of year, which is quite busy when things are up and running. It may drop down to as little as 15 at times. So again, with this business, I know it's part of the nature. To me, I would have this business with one person. It makes me smile every time I walk in it, and every time I come through the door, I'm ready to go. Not one day since I opened this business have I said, "Oh no, here I go again. I got to get up and do this."
Yeah.
I start at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I finish sometimes 8, 9 o'clock at night, depending on the day, with my full-time job in the middle.
Right.
Financially, the wife and I took out a loan to buy the equipment and to set things up in my gym. It came together pretty fast. It took me about, I would say, 3 months to get up and running and feel like I was ready to open.
Okay.
Once I launched my Facebook page, that I was gonna, I'm having a business and I'm gonna do some personal training. Things kind of went off pretty fast from there, and I was surprised. I expected maybe 2, 3, 4, maybe even up to 10 maybe clients that I would try to help out and better their life.
Yeah.
But again, it grew pretty fast.
So how has it been received in the community? Have you guys reached a profitable state? How long? And if you did, how long from the time you opened did it start to become profitable?
Well, I feel that, it's like anything. You continue to pay off your bills early on, and you always have some overhead, whether it's electricity and heat and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So I found within the first 2 years, things have really become profitable in the fact that my my expenses from the loans have been passed on, and now it's just continue the day-to-day expenses with adding equipment for particular clients and particular people and things that I wanted to try out with different groups of people.
Are you the only trainer there, or is there anybody else that helps out?
No, I'm the only trainer. I figure if I'm going to fitness, people come for not only getting in shape, they come for, I feel my studio, I guess you could call it, has an atmosphere that makes them very welcoming.
Yeah.
They're at ease and very comfortable. And I think every client that ever walked in my door has probably left feeling that same way. At least I hope so. And I'm sure that a lot would, make some testimonials. At least I would hope.
Well, that could be key for future business, is getting people to talk about their story of transformation from what their life was like prior to coming and seeing you, and then sort of how it's changed during their time with you and what their life is like now. Those types of transformational, we'll call them testimonials for lack of a better word, but really it's about people telling their story, and then you're just one piece of the puzzle that sort of helped them along their journey. Those types of transformational testimonials will definitely go a long way in securing other clients for your business. So is it everything one-on-one, or do you do group stuff as well?
When I get a new client, I try my best to make sure that it's one-on-one. I do have as many as 4 clients. I like to keep the number very low. I'm what you call a very perfectionist. I like to keep things very strict. I like to keep things very controlled, and make sure that these clients and friends don't get hurt.
Yeah.
If a group mentality happens, then you're going to miss 1 or 2. I find that's really maybe not giving it their all, maybe not understanding what that exercise is. So I really focus on form, and I think that the clients appreciate and get to understand things a whole lot quicker.
So
I always tell them.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I always tell them that I'm not your life coach. I'm not your life trainer. When you go to those gyms at the hotels, when you go down to the local gym, I want you prepared. I want you ready, and I'm so happy to see someone walk out that door and say, "Hey, thank you. I'm going to move on, and I'm going to try things. I'm going to have my own little gym in my basement." That to me, and I've done my job.
Yeah.
I've set them up ready to go for life. And to me, that's what it's worth.
I find personally that it's really when people employ a personal trainer. Years ago, I was in that business part-time. I started an online training company, and then ended up actually training people locally. But I've recently had trainers over the last couple of years, and what I find is it's less about knowing, for me, it's less about knowing what to do because I was a certified trainer, but it's really more about the accountability and just having somebody to go there to be accountable to when you actually have to show up. Because there's no, for me, there was no canceling the appointment versus if I'm just going to the gym, it's like I can cancel on myself anytime, right?
Very much so. And I think, that's why most come through the door.
Yeah.
Is for accountability. I have some athletes that need to get to the next level or want to get to the next level. And for those kids and those young men and women, then they come there with a different attitude and a different mindset,
right.
and I'm aware of that. I think my biggest asset for these people is I'm always positive, and no matter if it's a bad day at the gym or a good day, you're at the gym, and you're trying to do better. I continue to send texts. I can continue to guide them in their eating habits and different things like that. And even when they're not with me, because I think it's a big important part, like you said, accountability and availability of your trainer. Sometimes it's not there. So having me, I would call them pester at times, me pestering them, is something that they appreciate. Maybe you can tell me the odd word every once in a while to go, F myself, but that's okay too.
You're thick skin, you can handle it.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's talk a little bit about this fitness episode. So in doing some research this morning for the show, since you never did get around to sending me your information back. There was one thing, just before I get into this question, there was one thing that you mentioned that I found that I didn't put in my intro was you were inducted into a Hall of Fame recently, right?
Yeah, the local Glace Bay Hall of Fame, for sport. So it was more of a dual sport, basketball and boxing. So I was quite honored by that, of course, because our town of Glace Bay has produced so many athletes over the years, and to just be talked about it and with that presence is an honor.
Excellent. So, like I said, in doing some research today, I found out that you did a 12-episode fitness series for Bell. So, can you tell me how that actually came about, how it transpired, and what's it done for your business?
Well, it's actually 24 episodes.
Oh, 24.
I did 2 seasons.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I did 2 seasons.
I only found the first season.
And so that came about with former Glace Bayer he is, and living in Halifax now. He works for Bell, or worked for Bell on a number of projects, and was approached by them. And he's on my Facebook, and as you know, I'm a pretty upbeat guy and positive person. So I try to send out the odd little message during the morning, and he approached me with the idea and thought that I would be a perfect fit for it. And again, I was skeptical at the beginning, but had a lot of fun with it. And as far as people, it's amazing the amount of people that see things that you wouldn't think. And I'd be walking down the street and they'd say, "Oh, I saw your episode last night, John. Great job." And I was a little bit taken back by certain people because you don't know if anybody's watching or anybody's caring.
Yeah, it's a thing with TV, right? You film an episode and you don't know if anybody even sees it. Sometimes I'll do these live shows and there's it shows that there's one person on or 2 people on, and I know that I'm on and my guest is on, so those are the 2 people that are watching right now. But the beauty about this is it's recorded. People can watch it after the fact. So well, that's great that you had that opportunity. So you've filmed 2 seasons, 2015, 2016?
No, 2014 and
14.
2015.
Yeah, I wonder why I only stumbled across the second season. But anyway, well, that's great. So has anyone actually come to the gym saying, "Hey, I watched your fitness series and I thought that I wanted to come in and get trained by you"?
Well, I don't think in that many words. I'm sure some have seen it, but as you know, testimonials maybe not be out there in the mainstream, but word of mouth in local towns and word of mouth in the small communities really travel far and beyond. And I have some people travel in from, I know we're talking different parts of Cape Breton, so most of your viewers may not or do know certain areas, but they travel 30 minutes, 35 minutes to come see me, and which I think is something special and says a lot. And I'm happy that I can help people, not just in my community 5 minutes down the road or 10 minutes down the road, that that you're reaching people a little further. Yeah,
I think it's important for people to note, because we do have people from all over, not only North America, but other parts of the world, that it's more about the time distance, because let's face it, I can travel from my place and at times I can't even get downtown Edmonton in 30 minutes. So it's not about the distance, it's about the time that you actually spend to get to the place. So it's great that it's actually working out well for you. So another thing that I was really surprised about, because we are friends on Facebook, and I do see your constant upbeat posts on a regular basis. But what I was really surprised about is how you really don't have a big social presence out there, or a lot of content in the internet world for either yourself or your business. I was hard pressed to find some stuff. Because you have such an amazing personality, you're so upbeat, and it's always positive, you're so likable, and you connect with people so easily. Have you ever thought about any type of strategy in using the internet to help either promote your business or anything like that?
To be honest, no, I haven't, because I'm very, very technically not well off.
Technically challenged?
Yes, it's not something that, again, I'm comfortable with, and not even interested in as far as technical stuff. Yeah. And I think that's what's holding me back. I think if technology was a passion of mine, then I know I could help some people, far and abroad, I believe. And maybe I'll get one of my techie friends to and actually the person who did these shows for me, Jimmy Inch. He's been after
Jimmy
me a little
Inch,
bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He's been after me to maybe branch out. He would be a great guest for you as well, because he's a great guy with lots of knowledge.
Yeah, he's actually he's also a really good friend of my good friend Shane Com, and I believe that he used to travel to Montreal on a yearly basis with Shane and my older brother Todd. They used to go on a yearly pilgrimage because their good friend Jack, they went one year, and then Jack was diagnosed and died of cancer. So that group sort of kept going year after year as sort of an homage to Jack, doing that guy's weekend trip to watch the Canadians play. So
right on.
Yeah. So I'd like to say it's a small world, but it's pretty big. We just happen to have grown up and know the same people. That's all.
That's right.
So yeah, that would be a great idea moving forward. If there's ever anything that you think that I could help you out with, then just definitely reach out and could steer you in the right direction or help you get things started or whatever it is you need at that point in time.
Yeah. Well, again, I think as my age creeps up there, I think that I better decide on that real quick. I feel that it doesn't matter how old you are, you can train someone and you can make sure that you're guiding them in the right direction.
Yeah.
Again, this might be the avenue for that.
Excellent. So when you filmed the 24 episodes, the 2 seasons, was it actually at your studio or did you have to go somewhere else?
No, we actually did our first season at the Savoy Theatre in Glace Bay, which is a fantastic venue for many singers that have come there. And so that was very fun. And again, very nervous at the beginning, and then I got a little comfortable. At least Jimmy tells me that. Maybe he lied or whatever, but he said I got a little more comfortable over time.
Yeah.
And then we did it in the Holiday Inn in Sydney, our second season, which was a very good venue.
So was it filmed? Were many of the episodes filmed back to back, or how did the production go?
No, well, Jimmy would travel down, and we would do an episode each and every time, and then he would make his way back and edit it and send it off to them to air. And he was the brainstorm behind it all. I just kind of brought what I bring to the table, and that's fitness and upbeat attitude.
You just showed up. So I watched. I saw part of one episode. You had a couple of people there with you that you were sort of training or guiding them through the exercises. So were they? Did Jimmy bring them in, or did you bring them in?
Well, they were clients of mine, and are today. They were able to help me out. They knew some of the exercises, and were eager to help out with everything. So it was great to have them there because I didn't have to go looking for them. They were in my own gym.
Excellent. That's great. So we're running low on time, John. So just going to do a quick check to see if anyone else new joined us. Johnny Mack joined. Johnny's from New Waterford area. He's my cousin. Lockwood's still on, giving me grief. And Robin Clark just joined. She said she's seen it all. So she must have watched all your episodes. Friend of yours, I'm assuming?
Yes, it's a he.
A he. Sorry, I can't see the picture, and Robin can go either way. Who?
Yeah, that's right. I agree, especially him.
No judgment here. So, John, I really want to personally thank you for being on the show, sharing with us your life, your journey. I'll post some contact information for you in the show notes, as well as on the comments, in case anyone wants to check out, connect with you through Facebook. And everyone, show John some love. Hit the love button, and be sure to share this with your friends, associates. Share it with your people on your business page. So, John, it was great having you on the show, and I really look forward to catching up with you again on real soon, seeing what sort of journey that you take, and if there's anything I can do to, I have a couple of great ideas when it comes to business that could definitely incorporate into what you're doing. So if there's ever anything I can do to help you out, or if you think that you want to try something, then just definitely let me know, and I'll see what I can do to help you out.
I appreciate it having me on today, John. I know I'm not technically inclined, and you brought me through this quite good. I gave you a little bit of stress leading up to it, but
no, it worked out really well. It worked out really well, and I think we had a great show. So thanks again for joining us, and I'll chat with you real soon.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me on today's Entrepreneur Journey Show, where we focus on an entrepreneur's individual journey into transitioning from a regular 9-to-5 world and adjusting to the life as an entrepreneur. For most entrepreneurs, we want to create our own life, create our own path, and do what we want to make that life legendary. The first step to creating a legendary life is to just show up. Working with coaches or being involved in masterminds is a great way for entrepreneurs to move their business forward and be accountable. A coach can help you shorten the time frame to get you from where you are now to where you want to be, while being part of a mastermind is meant to bring entrepreneurs together, all with the same goal of helping each other move forward in their business. Now, business is all about team building. An entrepreneur believes anything is possible. They identify opportunity in every situation. They take massive action. They show up, and they surround themselves with like-minded people. Now, most entrepreneurs tend to do lots of dreaming and hoping they'll make it. But dreaming with no action will get you nowhere. The most successful people never stop learning and growing, and they're always working with coaches and involved in masterminds. It isn't just about helping you get what you want or reaching your goals. It's also about sharing and helping others achieve their goals in business as well. At the end of the day, business is all about the impact we leave for those who are around us. Remember, how you do anything is how you do everything. How your business is performing at the moment is directly related to how you're treating it. When you stop learning, you stop earning. To find out more about the Authority Acceleration Coaching Program, to see if you can be considered or be part of the Authority Acceleration Mastermind, then contact me via my website, johnamccabe.com, or go through my Facebook page at the John Anthony McCabe. So thanks for joining us on today's show, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's show when I have another great guest on to discuss accelerating their authority. So have yourself a great day, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.